The Dalai Lama says that the world doesn't need any more successful people. It actually needs more storytellers, healers, and lovers of all kinds. And so it is my absolute pleasure to welcome today a dear friend and lightworker, Eva Kerr. Hi, Eva, and welcome to the show.
Hi, sweetheart. Thank you. I'm so excited for this cooperation.
Yeah. It's amazing to be here. And I would say this is the first time we're having a live conversation in front of a camera and all of that. So really excited about this new format. Let me first tell you guys a little bit about Eva. Eva is a podcast host. She runs a podcast, a beautiful podcast called Shanti Voice. She is a sound healer, and most of all, she has been a true lighthouse to the community here where we live. And a little bit more on a friendly level, I've known Eva for a while now, and I see her as a true light worker, someone who brings sunshine into everybody's lives. And the best way to describe Eva is that if you ever came into any of her sound meditations, you would feel like you were on a fluffy cloud and surrounded by lots of fluffy cushions. She's just got that kind of demeanor and voice. So that's a little bit about her. And without further ado, let's get into the conversation. So, Eva, you are a mining engineer by training, right? And that's like so bizarre.
On paper.
On paper, yeah. And when I went through your bio, it said that you had changed 13 jobs. That's 13, guys, 13 jobs before finding your calling as a light worker. Could you tell us a little bit about how you transitioned through all these different jobs to what you do today?
I'll try to make a story very short.
No, take your time. We're comfortable here.
I'm always in between, like I don't know what to say and I have a lot to say. And, just to have that balance, to really say, just to pass the message. I guess it's when I was a child, I kind of, I will look back into the childhood, my favorite game, as being quite introverted child, I would be gathering all my toys around myself and teaching them something. So I kind of saw myself, I kind of born with some kind of tendency to teach and some kind of see myself in front of people. But then I was born into far away from a spirituality environment. It was Soviet Union, right?
Yes.
So forget about awakening consciousness, energies, God. Forget about it.
Wow.
So it is very like, this is the armchair, this is a table, this is you're born, you go to university, you have family, you go to work, you contribute to the community through action, through being a useful citizen, as a participant of a kind of society. So I think from that, that trait within me was never noticed by my parents or society around me. So I it took me into that path which was everyone is taking. So you have to graduate school, you have to graduate university, and yes, mining engineering was not something what I really wanted, but to be honest, in the age of 15, 16, when you're choosing your profession, I probably was like most of teenagers, I didn't really know what I want. I kind of thought, by that time, by the age of 15, 16, I was already a little lost.
Yeah.
So that was the sole purpose I came into this world, to the age which my kind of personality was shaped, was already kind of somewhere deep down there, which I didn't understand what it was. So I took the path where I would be approved by society.
Sure.
So, and you have to have a graduate and get a diploma in Russia, especially that time.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're kind of failure. So I got into that path, graduated, had fun through university without having any idea. Ask me anything about. I don't remember. I don't remember anything. But I kind of went through it 5 years of my life studying mining engineering, and then after that realizing that this is nothing at all what I want to do and I can do. And it took me to that, it's like one of those pictures which will show like how life path, like a straight line, success.
Yours was
And
like a
this is
twirly one.
it's like this, and just like go like this and like that, and somehow
God.
feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of us can relate to that, right?
Absolutely.
So and then you somehow always, there is somewhere deep down there is that impulse, which is a kind of giving you your signature traits, but because you're already by the age of 20, 25, you're so conditioned. You're so conditioned that you're kind of, even if you hear that inner calling, you even can't.
Yeah. And you'd probably think that it was just a romantic idea. It was not, I mean, you wouldn't probably pay real attention to it and think that, there's something more to this.
Yeah. And so this is how it is. So taken from job to job, it's a kind of you are getting a job because you have a sense, I like an idea of helping people, or like a kind of organizing something for people. So you get in this job somehow remotely, and you're having fun with that. But then you hit the wall, you hit the ceiling, and you think, no, I'm changing, and you're getting into another field which is somehow remotely exciting, that sparkle.
What was that wall like for you? What was that wall?
Well, this is when, the feeling, I think what people get to that in a relationship or in a job, when they cannot pin it. It is always that a kind of like a nagging.
Yeah. There's like a dissatisfaction.
Probably. Dissatisfaction. There's something is, well, everything is okay, I have a good job, I kind of have a good relationship, or whatever is that, and my life is really okay. So why I'm not
happy?
Content. Why I'm not, there's something there, there's this kind of hole, which I don't know, I didn't meet one person in my life who wouldn't experience that.
It's very interesting that you say that, because I think that's so relatable that almost anybody even today would be sitting in a cushy job and whatever, and there's still something that the soul is seeking, It's hard to define it.
Yes, because you would never invest into that. You would never question that. Like me, as probably a lot of people, wasn't born into environment where people question you. What do you want?
Absolutely.
What excites you in a school? No, you go and do what you're told.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, you're talking a little bit about, the Russian culture, and of course, that I'm from India, and I think it's very interesting just what you said. No one asks you what you want to do. They ask you, who are you going to be? Like, are you going to be a doctor? Like, are you going to be an engineer? In your case, yes. So
you're going to have a well-paid job.
Yes.
This is probably 80% of the criteria.
Yes.
Or you have to, as a woman, if you're talking about women, you have to be successfully married.
Yes.
Right?
Children.
So, yes.
Yeah.
So you have to have that sense of financial security, and this is what I would see from what I saw, and what probably at some point I was trying to find and define my choices, but will I get the sense of financial security?
Sure.
Because this is what a big criteria, right, in our life.
Sure. Yeah.
So, and this is what a lot of us, and I was not exception, will base our choices on. So, and basically, so, and it will take on a journey, always changing jobs, this and that. And I remember I had a conversation with one friend of mine who would look at my CV and said, I would never employ a person like this, like seriously, because it was such a colorful resume from this and that, and some of the jobs like 2 months and 6 months. So
I
friend
see
of
why
mine
she
would
would
be
say
like,
that. Yeah.
We have to do something, do some magic with your CV so you can be employable.
Oh my God.
I wasn't, by the age of, 26, I think I was with all of this colorful experience and this and then, and probably really a lot of gifts, which can come as a blessing and can come as a curse,
Yes, I see that.
Because I think it's a certain really easy path sometimes when sometimes some people they born with a certain already quality and this is what they want to do and they never question and maybe they don't know a lot of things about but this is what they do but they're really good at it. So if you're born and you're kind of you love playing piano and music and you're kind of enjoying a creative thing and organizing thing and this and that and you don't know really what is that and again plus all of that you want to fit into the conditioning which is a huge part of that.
Absolutely. I think I would say that for a predominant part of the population that is the challenge, so you know that like let's just take a very different example from both of our careers but if you look at a comedian, it was not until I think maybe just 5 or 7 years ago that comedians became like, okay, this is a respectable profession, or else somebody would be like, Papa, I got a job, and the dad would be like, oh really, what did you get? And he'd be like, oh, I tell jokes, and be like, get out of here, So I think the conditioning and like you said, the validation of society so predetermines, who we are going to be and stay being, that I feel that a lot of times it just takes a lot of courage to break out of those paths. And definitely for something you're doing, like lightworker, maybe you can share with our audiences what that actually means and how you actually came upon that, I would say, realization for yourself.
It's a really good question. I'm still asking that question myself. Am I really light work and what does it really mean?
Oh, honey, yes. You are.
Because again, it comes sometimes before we will make any decision or something, we a lot will be having tendency to look at the past, and we are kind of will see a certain pictures or stories or autobiographies of someone, and especially when we are dealing with if you're stepping into the path of a healer or yogi, shaman, medicine woman, so you will kind of look at those stories of born in Himalayas into this or like a Dalai Lama born in a choosing a child into this tribe into this and you're like, I haven't born to any of that,
exactly.
And I'm born into such a regular family. I'm such a regular ordinary and talking into if I will meet my friends from university and I will tell them now I'm a light worker and now
they'll be like, you're a bit of woo-woo.
We're just like we used to go party together, we used to get drunk and get wasted together, and we used to you was dancing on the table like 10 years ago with us and just going after party and just getting
and
so
I love
drunk.
that, because I feel that, especially stories like yours and the way you're saying it, there is a curriculum of life, right? And there is like a lesson that, it's the same thing even in the, larger Asian mindset as well, that, if you're a light worker, you're supposed to be someone who's extremely woo-woo and, you chant mantras all day, you look a certain way, you don't wear certain things. And so spirituality has taken a very alienating sort of connotation. But the truth is that each one of us is on our own highly individual journeys, right? And sometimes that comes with the partying, the dancing on the tables, and then you have a moment of realization because the soul is going through all that. So that's really, I mean, I can totally see you do that, Eva, though. Even now,
well, but this is also a lot. It's a big challenge for a lot of people because we are so defined by the past. Like we really are to break through what my family think I am, right? In any culture, I would say it's still majority in any culture what my family will think of me.
Absolutely.
What my community are thinking of me. Yesterday I was getting drunk with them or whatever, or people would so many, and today I realize, oh, you know what, there is something deeper calling and I'm not that anymore. So today I am not who I was yesterday, who I was a year ago. And so back to your question, how you come up with even that,
yeah.
it's still a lot of doubt within, because I was called, or I was getting a certain, in my experience of meditation, or by someone I would called, you are a light worker. And it's a relatively new term, right?
Yes.
So, and as we are evolving as a humans, there is a new vocabulary, new term, getting engaged, something, or maybe I am or you are something, and the word is not even invented yet, you know?
The understanding definitely is something we're still exploring.
Yeah, or maybe it's a limitation of an English language or a
Very
Russian
well
language
said, yeah.
or something,
Yeah.
which it sometimes it cannot, you cannot put a word, because when you put a word on it, it creates limitation. That's why I stopped. More than like around 6 years, I have been practicing yogic practices, and a few years I was calling myself a yoga teacher until I stopped calling myself a yoga teacher, because the moment you say I'm a yoga teacher, it came with a lot of already stereotypes, conditioning. And the moment I'll say, oh, I'm a yoga teacher, and so what person is saying to me, oh, I'm so terrible in yoga, I'm not flexible
enough.
And the question is like, it's the same like to me, like, would you like a cup of coffee? No, thank you. I will wear a white dress today.
It's like completely not related.
It's a completely, what do you mean? How it is related? So that's why when we are saying this is what I am, especially when we are talking about something what we cannot perceive with our eyes, we cannot touch it, we cannot really like with our five senses experience it. It's very hard to define that. So this is, I guess, it's a lot of affirmation, and still affirm within myself, because a part of myself do not agree with that. It's like, light worker, are you sure? It's like, but this is who I really am, you know. And I need a lot of still work to do to affirm that, and to say and to reclaim that. When we say, just really reclaim that, because this is what I really am, and this is what I really transmute to love, not as a concept, as a philosophy, you know, it's nice to be loved, no, as a frequency, as a being, as a yes, like really as a someone who is that. So I guess this is
no, that's
I don't know perfect. If I answered the question.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful, and I understand it's a very hard question, and you know, I have been exploring this whole meaning of what it means to be a light worker, and you know, because I had, as you know, a very, very, you know, rational thinking, scientific oriented mind, because that's what, well, society, community, my teaching, my learning, college time, all of that brought to me. And so for me, the way I see it is that light workers are people within communities, people, animals, plants, whatever. I don't want to define it, but people within communities that allow us to see the light within by also helping us along that path. You know, it's no different than a healer. Like when your arm is broken, you go to a doctor and you say, doctor, my arm is broken. The doctor gives you a cast, you wear the cast, or gives you medicine, and then you're fine, right? What do you do when your spirit is broken? Like a lot of people in the times that we live in are dealing with the the difficulty that is adulthood. There's no curriculum for that. We were never taught how to grieve our deaths of our parents and stuff like that. And so for me, increasingly as I'm growing older, I find that light workers and healers of all kinds, they're just there. They're just already there to tell you the truth that you already know. You know, so and especially since you have done so much work in the community, and I really wanted to explore this aspect, because saying that you are a light worker and chanting mantras all day is, I think, one step of the evolution. But beyond that, there is the very beautiful thing that you do, that you lift everybody up also through that practice, and I know you do a lot of sound healing meditations. You have meditation circles. Your work in the community is quite well known to people who are interested. And so I wanted to just talk a little bit about how you ended up doing community work, right? And also what you mentioned, raising your frequency, right? Just when you were just speaking right now. And so what does it mean to raise one's frequency, and how can humankind benefit from anything like this? I mean, is it really that valuable? So maybe we can talk a little bit about that.
I'm very grateful that you brought up and want to a little bit, maybe not even a little bit, but really focus on the talk on the community and
Yes.
how it is and why is that, because this is what more and more and more I am stepping into and realizing the importance of.
Yeah.
There was this kind of always sense to gather people around, and there's just to enjoy that. So I guess for me, this is gradually when I started to teach sessions. For me, for me, that would be first of all importance of even a shape in the sessions where everyone is in a circle. It is a big meaning was for me, and it would make a big difference. You know, there is something about when all of us are seen. So I think that through sessions, through experience, through what I would experience through the sessions, starting a little like a circles in which each of us can be heard, can be seen. And I think one of the most wonderful English expressions, I even don't know in Russian how would it sound, or in Indian how would it sound.
We can try.
Which is holding space.
Holding
right?
space.
I think another word for me as like a light worker or something is a holding space practitioner. I don't know if such a profession can exist, because for me this is the most valuable thing or experience I discovered on the way. And this is for me, I think, the holding space, which is non-judgment, unconditional acceptance, unconditional love. Not as like, ooh, you know, like, no, as a we would say the divine love, full acceptance of who you are, how you are, fully allowing myself and yourself to be fully safe in whatever you are, in whatever you express in yourself and who you are. I think this is one of the, what I am as whatever I'm doing, want to restore and bring back.
That's beautiful. And you know, Eva, I would like to even add there, because as I was preparing for, you know, our conversation, I was thinking about what this term particularly means, like community. What is that? You know, because I mean, it's not a new term, right? I mean, we've had it for our whole lives. Our parents always talked about, you know, the importance of going and meeting your uncles and your aunts and having friends and all of that. But I think that the interesting word here is about holding space and having a safe space. Because if you look at society today, and maybe this is, you know, one of the challenges that, you know, we go to work and we spend 12 hours, 13 hours, whatever at work, and we come back home, we carry our work with us. And it's like a very go, achieve, you know, be successful kind of word. And for a lot of times, and I can truly speak this for myself, as I know probably for a lot of people, that workspace is never your safe space. So should you ever go through a difficult moment in life, I did, and I know this from experience, that it is almost devastating sometimes to find that safe space or that holding space that you thought that place would exist for you, that doesn't exist anymore. So going back to that, the fact that community is a place where you hold space without judgment, I think it's so defunct in society right now, and there is such a big requirement. I mean, we are sitting in the middle of COVID right now, and God knows the challenges that people have out there. But this by far is probably, I would say, the medicine to the wound, you know. Instead of having social distancing, I think we should be talking about social revival, you know. So absolutely. I mean, I don't know if there was a particular time where, you know, you felt that awaken within you, but definitely the holding space within your circles is something that does contribute to, you know, each and every person's life, because they feel safe within that, you know, place that you create. So that's quite amazing. And maybe we can talk a little bit about how this helps in, raising a person's frequency as well. Because half of the time, I remember the first healing circle that I came to you, and I was like, I'm new here, I don't know anybody, and what's going to happen? Please introduce me. And just having you on the other side and a lot of unfamiliar faces, but still friendly faces, helped me a lot. To say, okay, fine, I'm not going to be in the deep here, right? So. Tell us a little more about, how that community work has helped you in raising maybe the frequency. And I think maybe that will help our listeners to understand what that means.
Yes, so with that, if you will, I'm not a scientific mind, right? But I'm sure there is a lot of information which there are already sources which are proven, discovered, or with discovery and latest old technologies. So basically, if you look into inward, which actually it was discovered by yogis thousands of years ago through that experiences, because as a consciousness we can access its unlimited potential, like as above as we go outwardly into the bigger scale, the same as we go into the deeper scale. So it just now they start through the equipment. So just to show how it is. So if you will onto the question, my very unscientific, very primitive, and kind of trying to how it is, because I perceive everything from my heart. I don't need a scientific proof. If I feel, I feel. If I experience, I know that not all people like this, and it's okay. Yeah. It's really okay. So. But even so, basically, when we go into the cell, into the atom, into all these tiny little particles, so everything is moving, everything is vibrating, and this is what the frequency is coming from, right? So basically, there is a term frequency from the scientific point of view, which has nothing to do with awakening or love or something, right? And there is another a kind of from where it is coming from, the channeling, right, when the people in the meditation connect into the higher consciousness, and a kind of it's also the same, that everything is frequency, everything is vibrating, everything is moving, everything can be measured, right? Everything can be measured, and there are beings which are able to measure a frequency, right? So I'm saying now it's creating certain resonance, certain frequency, right?
Sure, yes.
My thoughts are also at a certain, like a vibration, right?
Yes.
Everything is. So, and my emotion is also a certain resonance, right? So, which actually I believe can be measured. No? I think this is what we are gifted with, that we have a freedom of choice, we have a free will as a humans. Animals don't have it. So humans, they did get that gift. Gift and curse. This gift comes with a big.
Why am I so enlightened?
Just like, like look at the cat, they just like have they sleep and eat and be fluffy and be cute. Just rub my belly. I
just want to be a cat in my next life for sure. If this is happening,
I don't know if you will choose. You can't, right? So because you choose to be human as I am. So I think that. It's okay not to afraid to question, and it's okay not to know the answer, and it's okay to be okay. Yes, we have access to all the answers. I believe I don't have. It frustrates me sometimes that I don't get a certain visions or certain clarity on something, and it's just like. But I think it's a part of an agreement and a part of my faith in the heart. I guess the whole. We touched so many things.
I know. It was supposed to be a conversation on community, guys, but when you have two people like us sitting and who have kind of probably caught up after a long time as well, like how long can this reel go, right? No, but it's good. People will take away what they want. I truly believe this. Right?
It's true. Yes, I agree with that. I think just like to take. For the people also to just to get a takeaway from whatever we are talking about and where they are, and we all the short wish for everyone to want to be at peace and happy, right? So that's the ultimate. We want to be at peace, we want to be happy, whatever happy is that. So my message in this conversation and co-creating this by using the power of the voice and the word and what I experienced in my life, to look out for community. Look out for community, reach for help. Even if after this conversation you want to write a message or whatever, reach out. I will be there, and I know that as probably a lot of people will be there, or maybe you're the one who are. And also second step, also think of what you can do with your hands. Engage your hands into something doing, because it is very important. This is something very lost, and this is underestimated. We don't do enough with our hands, and our hands is a lot. I'm sure in your culture, in my culture also before, it was important. It was very therapeutic, healing to do something with the hands.
Oh yeah,
jewelry, something with the hair, something with the anything, preparing a meal. It is
whatever called out.
Yes, exactly. Looking after plants, making candles, creating the furniture, whatever is that. It is all important, and also is. I cannot always, this is something what I always will say for, power over the breathing, right? Power of the breathing and heart focus breathing. That 5 heart focus breath will do always magic. And to, I think that, and also keep envisioning every time I'll see it, and I envision I will dream about just that a community where everyone feels safe, free. I get a physical response.
Yeah, I mean, this is why I'm talking to you.
It's a get a physical response. It's almost like my body remembers that it is a way. It's it's either what we do is either contracting us, it's either expanding us. So do everything what will expand you. Do everything, whatever is that. And if you can do it alone. And also another thing, I don't talk about codependent community. I'm afraid to be alone, so I would rather be with someone. No. Empowered community.
Absolutely.
Yes, I can walk this path alone. Yes, I can do that. I'm not a disabled spiritually, mentally, physically. I can do that. But I don't want to, because I want easy life. I want easy life. I want harmonious life. I want enjoy and pleasant and I know for sure 1,000,000% sure that it is possible. It is very realistic. It's very doable, and people are doing this already.
So listen, I know a lot of people who will be watching today are specifically watching.
A lot of people.
Yes, of course, that is the intention. A lot of people watching today, I'm sure, do not disagree with anything that we're saying. I mean, I'm almost certain of it, because a lot of them will be from India, and they'll be like, yes, I want someone to make aloo parathas for me. No, I'm just kidding. But I think that one of the things that I would really appreciate if you could share with our viewers is that suppose there is someone watching today who says, I agree with everything you're saying, but I don't have a community, right? I feel completely like in the wrong place at the wrong time or whatever. Can you give some advice to kind of how they can go about starting a community? What kind of interests can bring people together? I know that you do a lot of sound healing and soul meditation and stuff, but maybe you can give some guidance on how they can go about it.
Everything starts with intention, right?
Yes.
Everything starts with a decision. Everything starts with that, that would be really, really nice to have that. It just at least a decision inside. And I think that decision, that intention will be that driving force, right? It's to, and before even that, first step, it's to be grateful where you are.
Well said.
It's to be great. To be great, you chose that. Part of you unconsciously chose that, to go through that hardship, and it's beautiful. You're learning. You're learning now. In whatever disconnection you think, and whatever isolation you think you are, the part of your heart, your soul, agreement, the part of you somehow chose that, and you're learning, and it's beautiful. So first of all, start with grateful. Yes, I'm grateful for where I am. Am I agreeing to continue that? No, I would like to choose a little bit easier, a little bit. Maybe not everyone want to be in a community, you know what I mean? And it's okay.
Yeah.
And maybe not everyone will be like, oh no, I'm really happy to whatever I am, you know, just like, and I really love that sense of competition and to be all of that.
Yeah.
So, and it's okay. So first of all, grateful. Second, just start. If you can take a few deep breaths in your meditation, whatever practice, I mean, I'm talking about this have to be essential, like a breakfast, dinner, lunch, and shower,
Absolutely.
whatever practice is there in that space to seek where I am now. I was seeking for that. I was crying for that. I was meditating for that for many years. For many years, I didn't have the freedom and the community and that level of understanding. What I have now, it was a many practices of which I would end up just crying and being like, why I cannot just, because, and someone would say, oh, you're just dreaming, life is not easy. No, we just like do just what everyone is doing.
I just have such a problem with that belief. Whenever I hear it, I have that physical reason. I'm like, yeah, life is not easy. Why? Life is
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So why not? But I mean, again, it can be very like a journey. It will question a lot of your beliefs. It will question a lot of your agreements. It will question a lot of your conditioning. But if you're sitting where you are and practicing, making that effort, you don't want to be grateful. It's hard to be grateful when you're in a miserable situation, which is a kind of outside coming to you, the out, I cannot do this, I cannot do that. Just be responsible that you created that. You created
take your power back by owning it.
But just be grateful, you know, and put it into grateful. Then make a decision that I won't create that easy life, a community. I want that safety. I want that freedom, and start just put in that intention slowly with a gratitude and to see, okay, I'm really isolated. I don't know. I'm living in the place. No one understands me. Reach out. Send a message on Instagram and Facebook to someone you feel like. If you feel that you resonated with me or with you, with Sneh, or with someone, just send a message.
I
you
know.
Will be surprised.
Guys, we're always on
this
Instagram.
Is how Sneh. This is how Sneh did. Send a message. Hello, my name is Sneh, and I just came to Ras Al Khaimah,
and I've never done that before, by the way.
It's
insane that I did.
This is exactly you're asking what they do, what you did. Send a message in Instagram. I'm not talking about like some kind of connect to somewhere, you know, to the actual world, and like no, I'm talking about go on Instagram and send a message. Someone you feel like it feels like maybe it would be nice, you know, and. The answer was like, oh my God, we're making this new moon circle, we're making this full moon circle, come and say, just come, show up. And that's it, from how many people you met from that, and how it is all unfolded. So this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking simple things. Instagram, Facebook, all these things, reach out. Or again, see what resources do you have. Maybe you have a resource over, and offering it, start with where you are. Maybe you will make a meal and go and meet your neighbors or something. It doesn't resonate.
I love that idea. Or cook for somebody.
Something with that, or offer whatever gift you have. Find something what you can give if you're not a given position because you really need that nourishment. Well, see, if you will start to looking at this, you will see how many solutions are there. Online resource is there. Online, starting with online community if you physically cannot, because if you're physically disabled, it might be a limitation, but you know, the only limitation is here, right? So you can reach out, you can make that Zoom conversation with someone. And so this is, I guess this is the three practical steps: gratitude, intention, Instagram, Facebook. You know, I mean, it's such a part of our life. I'm so grateful that we have that.
And you know, I think I would probably, you know, just as you were saying it, I feel compelled to add one more, you know, which is that allow yourself to be seen. You know, I believe that deep down in our souls, we have some kind of a DNA or some kind of seed that we want to help. We feel amazing when we help someone and they say, oh yeah, you know, I felt so great when you called me. I was just thinking about you, or maybe not, but you know, reach out. I think a lot of times we are so concerned about our image and about our, not showing our vulnerability, about being seen as broken or weak or whatever, that we don't say, hey, you know what? I'm a mess right now, and I would love if you could maybe just hold space or just sit and listen to me. I would love that, I think that you'd be surprised by what you find.
Exactly. And I mean, if you're on Ras Al Khaimah, we are making circles.
Yeah.
Every new moon, every full moon, everyone is welcome. Sometimes we make in the holding space, coffee mornings, when we just gather and we hold the space. And it's amazing just to be seen, to be heard, not to be judged, and to be just really safe space. It's so much there. Honestly, it's so much there.
And I think that it's also important to state, as we're two women sitting and doing this show today, and so I'm sure we're connecting to a lot of the feminine, beautiful women out there, but I think this is as important for men,
Oh, men, welcome. I mean, you came with husband. My husband joins sometimes. It requires certain kind of
push,
it's a push, but it is there. So we are welcoming, because we are not talking about the sisterhood is so beautiful and amazing. It has its own beauty. I'm talking about really humanhood, community. So
I mean, it's been so good to actually see you in person. I've been doing this over Zoom with people. Not that I don't appreciate that. I love that Zoom was free during this entire time. But it's just a different dynamic when you're sitting with someone. You can see them smile. You can kind of, see our amazing cameraman behind the camera saying, okay, guys, the light's fine and things like that. But
no, his thing is efficiency. You're talking too much. You have to cut. Stop.
No, I don't think so. I'm quite sure that a lot of people, whoever you are, and if you've kind of taken away something from this and you want to get in touch with either one of us, we're going to have the link of Eva down there on the details below on the cyber world. But thank you, darling, and thank you so much for being who you are. And guys, there's an Eva next to you, and all you need to do is just go and find her or be that, right?
Remember, you're loved. You're loved. You're supported by default.
And with that, namaste, and stay tuned for the ones to come ahead. Kisses.